Looking for a small skiff to fish the sound or rivers, or a huge offshore tuna machine, Defiance Marine has it. At Defiance Marine, be sure to power your boat with a Honda outboard package. Take advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty on your Honda outboards. Our service department is always here to help and serve you as the customer. Did you know Defiance Marine has boat financing experts to help get you the best term rates on your new boat purchase? If you need financing for that new boat, call us today. We guarantee the best price, best service on a repower for your current boat. Defiance Marine is a Honda Premier dealership and one of the largest on the West Coast. Defiance Marine also carries all the gear that you will need. Everything from auxiliary kicker motors to fishing tackle and bait. Defiance Marine has certified technicians that are top-notch at their job. Some of the best in the Pacific Northwest at evaluating your boat issues and problems. Stop in today or give us a call for all your needs at Defiance Marine.
Today, the need for quality private security services is at an all-time high. Contract Security Service provides day-to-day peace of mind as they protect people and property. Here at Phoenix, we provide service for multiple state and federal contracts with services ranging from uniform, patrol, alarm monitoring, canine detection, executive protection, as well as investigative work. Phoenix client management models are built on understanding our clients' security needs and responding with a tailored program that is best fit for them. Phoenix provides excellent customer service through well-trained, highly motivated security professionals. Recruiting highly qualified officers is the first step in building a strong team. Currently, we are comprised of 70% prior law enforcement and military veterans. If you are prior military or law enforcement, go to www.phoenixprotectivecorps.com and apply today.
Here we go.
In the Northwest Wild.
We've got a ballistic solution app on my...
Tuna grounds are on the ocean, Tommy. We're going to do that. Don't go anywhere.
We've got all the great fish that make great fish and chips.
Things that I've got. I'm digging them moss bags up in the sand. And after work, a cold beer in my hand. Picking wild berries.
Hey, good evening and welcome to Fish Hunt Northwest. Joining on Tommy Donlan to my immediate right.
Hey.
Back here in studio, buddy.
Yes, we are.
It is Thursday night, 6 p.m. We are coming to you live from the Fish Hunt Northwest studio located in Olympia, Washington. So glad you could join us. Please do us a favor, grab our content here, share it out there. Let's spread this link to as many people as you know. Get them on. We got a lot of great content once again to cover tonight, Tommy. It's been a busy week.
It has been.
Since you and I were last
Already
together.
been squidding.
Yeah. We'll talk a little bit about that. What a great night that was, huh?
That was.
That was a lot
Lights
of fun.
out.
Yeah. Good times there. And of course, we enjoyed that tonight for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
How good was that?
That was amazing. We're doing that again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That recipe, I think we'll get it out to everybody on the 30th when we are back.
Yep.
We're taking next week off. Show tonight, next week off, Christmas break. We'll be back in studio on the 30th, close out the year. Say goodbye to 2021.
Mm-hmm.
I should have the video ready to go from our night out at Squidding there with Paul Kim. Mm-hmm. And we might as well throw the recipe in there because the two just kind of go together.
They go together.
And man, is that a phenomenal way to prepare some squid.
Mm-hmm.
Shing did an amazing job.
Yep.
that little spice thing she put together from Richie Herod.
Oh yeah, that
Not
the
too
Finn and Field spice.
Not too
is
shabby.
Definitely my favorite.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, sidetracked there a bit, but hey, so glad you all could join us tonight. Again, we do have a lot of really good information to get you all caught up on before we do take our holiday break. And before we get there, I want to remind everybody, hey, take a little time. If you have not yet, jump over to our webpage, www.fishhuntnw.com. Lots going on over there, lots of blogs. Our buddy Ken Witt is our hunting dad blogger, puts on some fantastic stories that you can enjoy. And there's a lot of recipes there that we've posted up, a lot of how-tos. A lot of bait curing, and of course, it's a direct link to all our social media platforms. You can get to everything we have going on: Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. It's all there, and Instagram, of course, right there from our webpage. So go ahead and check that out if you haven't. Hit us up with an email if you got questions. Check out our online store. Do a little purchase before Christmas. We have a lot of items in the online store. Lots of really great wares, hats. Clothing items, t-shirts, the tuna wear, I mean, just tons of stuff. Yeah, so appreciate everybody signing on here. Lots of folks saying hi. We'll try to answer as many questions as we can as we progress through the evening. And with that, some news that kind of caught me off guard.
Yeah. Oh, me too.
This week.
Yeah, without a doubt. I did not see this coming.
Not at all. Figured we would probably continue to go down the road of, browbeating on the few that sat on the commission. Yeah. Continuing to get frustrated and agitated at some of the decisions and discussions coming out of the commission as of late on some of these meetings.
Yep.
And I just figured it was just going to be just a dog and cat fight, man. I just did not see them being very supportive of what it is we like to do.
Right. And really, I mean, our only hope for what seemed like our only hope was just to fill that vacant east side seat to have at least a level playing field in the commission, right?
Right.
And then this announcement comes across our desk and...
Yeah, so Koontz resigned. I mean, just files a letter off to Governor Inslee, says, I'm out. And you're right, backing up, last week we had Rylan Waithman on. Great discussion. Got a lot of really good support via our social media. In the interview we had with him, and if you missed that last week, go back to last week's show and dial up the interview with Rylan. Phenomenal outdoorsman. A perfect candidate to fill that east vacancy, right?
Yeah. And for those that don't remember, so Koontz was, he was one of the at-large seats.
Yes.
He filled one of those seats, and he was, backing up Lorna Smith.
Yeah.
In, shutting down the spring bear hunt.
Yep.
And also saying, oh, well, it's not a big deal that the Blues Mountain elk objective isn't being met. We'll just lower the objective. What?
Yeah.
I mean, you got two jobs, right? Conservation and providing opportunities. And you're not doing either one of them.
Right. And so when you, Koontz and Lorna Smith showed their hand in the spring bear meeting.
Big time.
We'd gone over this, but to remind those that perhaps weren't involved, Stephanie provided, scientific data to support an ongoing spring bear hunt, which has been in place since 1973. They found every means possible to shut it down. They were spewing out garbage that sounded like we're more concerned from Koontz, our perception
right.
of the decisions we make is important to who? Well, to the I refer to it as the I-5 corridor base. I refer to it as the animal rights activists.
Right.
That's his base, right? So he was trying to appease those folks. He felt more value in that than allowing Washington state citizens who have been hunting for years, and the spring hunt's been, as I said, in place since '73, and they just disregard all that science and support for it.
And I want to read just a couple things from his resignation letter.
Oh yeah,
because I think it's very telling of the thought process and the approach from both Koontz and Lorna Smith.
Yeah.
And so in his resignation letter, he says, I found that I had no meaningful role in protecting the public's wildlife trust. Like, well, yeah, okay.
Well, yeah.
And then he goes on to say, the commission is currently stuck in a politicized quagmire. So you use the word politicized. And then he says, I hope that your future appointments to the commission can be better politicians than me. I'm sorry, but
that's
that is not the role of the commission. You are supposed to evaluate the data objectively and make sound data-based decisions based on the people that have boots on the ground in the field that are providing you that real-time data, not based on emotions or politics.
Not to mention, Director Sussman in that meeting even stated that he is holding his staff's information in high regard. And he is encouraging the commission to move forward with the hunt.
Yes.
Kelly was on board saying this needs to, we don't have a reason not to. I've heard nothing that would, tell me otherwise. Yep. And they went down the road they did, and we all know where that landed. Yeah. Move forward the next week, they're discussing the Blues Mountains. After, again, scientific data has been gathered from the field, boots on the ground, as you alluded to, to show the percentage of calves that met their mortality. Right?
And 70% of that was
cats.
Your cats.
So 80% overall mortality. Yeah. And if you read through that report, you have a couple that were bears, and you have like 4 or 5 that were wolves, and then you have 77 that were mountain lion.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And so the problem here is that the commission, as it was seated at that point, was not, they had no drive to go, we have a predation problem.
Right.
They instead flipped it to say maybe our carrying capacity goal of 5,500 is unreachable or too high. Right. We should lower the ceiling, and we should pull back on the number of permits we're allowing.
The number of hunts allowed, correct.
Okay? Yeah. Because predators and ungulates have to learn to reside together. The problem is once the wolves found their way into the Blues and started having an impact, and we know the black bears have always been there, they have a certain impact on newborns, and now the cat population is out of control in more regions of this state than you even realize, because we removed the ability to hunt with cats. I think it was 96 via a petition on the popular base of emotions, right?
Yep.
We removed the ability to hunt cats and bears with dogs, and so the cat population has shot through the roof. Now you have data that supports the fact that the cat impact to the survivability of these elk calves is like serious.
Yeah.
But our response to that is you and I are at fault.
Right. Right.
We don't. We can't allow you to go hunt. So political, because you made it so. Yeah. Right. Yep. You chose to take a position that you thought you were going to make a difference, but you felt you were going to do that through politicizing these topics of intervention, which.
The one thing that I feel with all my heart is that, we're going to get into the spring bear petition later in the show. Yeah. But the one thing that totally blew me away is that Koontz felt the pressure from the fishing and hunting community, on these issues.
Right.
And, we need to keep that pressure up, because Lorna Smith is not going to keep, she's not going to stop beating that drum either.
That's an excellent point. So, you're right. He did feel the pressure when persons had the opportunity to get on and weigh in on these commission meetings. And we try to do our best to put those out to say, hey, this meeting's happening. Here's your login for Zoom. Thank God, I guess if anything positive can come out of the last 2 years of what we've been subjected to, you all have become very educated on the ability to get on a computer and pull up a meeting and pay attention to what's going on. Because let's face it, for years advocating to get folks to meetings to pay attention, get educated, and figure out what's going on, it's like, it's a 2-hour drive, it's a 1-hour drive.
And they put it during the week, right?
Always.
So like, hey, you got to be in Olympia on a Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. when you're supposed to be at work, right? For those of us that work.
So this truly has opened it up to the majority of those that partake in fishing and hunting and recreation outdoors. And for us, that's a positive, because we can actually listen to and see what's going on.
Amen.
And finally, people are paying attention and starting to speak up. So, pat on the back to everybody that is participating. As Tommy alluded to, we are going to tackle this bear petition later on in the show, and we'll get to that. But, Koontz has resigned. We now have 2 open seats, and I'm not exactly clear on Chair Carpenter's position. The board has put him back in the chair's seat, but I don't recall hearing anything from the governor's office. Larry's term expired in 2020. He's been held on for another year, occupying the chair, which is great. Larry's done a fantastic job, though he flipped on the whole bear thing, which is
that was
questionable.
a shocker. Yeah.
So Unknown where that's going, but we now have the vacancy in eastern side to fill, and we have the at-large position. Rylan Waithman is who we want on the east side. I'm going to give a shout out to Bobby Kratzer to get his name up to the top of the list, to start rallying around him. Yes, he's out on the coast, but he can fill one of those at-large positions, more than qualified, and somebody we want to have in there as advocacy for us who hunt and fish. Bobby Kratzer would do a phenomenal job, and that's who I'd like to see. So we're going to keep tabs on what's going on with the commission, Tommy, and we'll continue to follow that and just kind of, help it along in the process, I guess. So, yes, time to remove 2 more commissioners, Andy. That is right.
Amen.
Yep, we just got to keep beating that drum, man. We'll get there. Hey, as you stated, my friend, we got out with a little evening jaunt to Seattle. Boy, wasn't that a treat.
We had a very short weather window to operate in.
We really did.
I mean, it was a small craft advisory before and after we were out, and it picked up pretty good when we were out there.
It wasn't exactly flat calm by any means,
it was
right?
not. Yeah.
I mean, for to get out and do some little jigging for some squid, we were getting beat around a little bit. I mean, now, set the stage. We're on anchor. We're just not very far outside the marina. I think Paul Kim actually burns more gas in his generator.
I think he does,
to keep the lights going for the squid than we do to leave the marina and come back. So that's just a guess. But, man, what a great time.
I mean, it was awesome, man. And, it's interesting. The squid run this year is completely different from last year.
Right.
To the point where the squid are a different location in the water column. The squid, the jigging style that you have to use is different. I mean, there's a lot more nuances than I thought to this fishery.
Yeah, but that being said, small weather window that we had, not ideal conditions to get like young kids and stuff out on that particular evening.
Right.
You get a dry evening, 40 degrees, not a lot of wind blowing.
Yeah.
Bundle up.
It's great for kids.
They'd love it.
Kids. Yeah.
Really, really good time. So we got out a couple hours, very successful.
Limited out.
We had Paul, we had Zach, his deckhand, and you and I. We got our 4 limits, 40 pounds, right? 10 pounds a piece, couple hours of work. Got it all on video. Going to put that together for you guys. If you've never experienced anything to do with jigging for squid, we're going to show you what it's all about. We're going to couple that up with the recipe Jeff Maxfield and Sheri did up there at Finn's several weeks ago. We have that one in the vault as well. Those will go together really well on the 30th when we come back. So we can't wait to share that with you.
I would say don't wait until the 30th to go squidding.
No, go get your squid.
Get out there now.
Take care of them. Put them in the freezer.
Prime time right now.
Yeah. Towards the end of December,
get it done.
Definitely. So we had a good time. Can't thank Paul Kim, the Squid King of Seattle, enough. He laughs just like you every time we say that.
He does.
He coined that last year.
Well, he's such a humble guy. He doesn't like to be called the Squid King of Seattle, right?
He's a humble squid?
He's a humble guy.
Oh, okay.
Not a humble squid.
Yeah. Hands down, great time. And gosh, just right there in the backyard.
Yeah, it is.
Right there in the backyard. Yeah. Accessible
phenomenal.
For many. So we are, as mentioned, taking next week off. Hey, hello, everybody signing in here. Appreciate it. Love to see all you jumping on here. And fire off questions if you got them or statements. We try to pay attention to those as much as we can. All right, moving forward. We are taking next week off. Going to enjoy the Christmas week with family and friends. Time to get out and enjoy. Tommy, I'm going to actually try to get out and do a little steelhead fishing.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll see if we can put that together and see if the beard can come along. Maybe we'll capture some of that on video for you folks as well. There is steelheading opportunity, albeit a little less than desirable, but it is out there. And we got to go take advantage of what we can when we can. So we're going to do that. Then we'll be back on the 30th. We're going to break down the whole squid thing for you. Excited about that. We're going to close out the year. We're going to wrap up the year, say goodbye to 21, look forward to 22. You and I have a lot of plans for 22.
We do.
There's a lot of things to get out and do. Retirement's around the corner too, by the way.
For you.
Oh yeah, for me, which means more opportunity for fishing and hunting and fish hunting, all that there is. So I'm excited about that. We're gonna roll into January talking steelhead, waterfowl, snow geese, crabbing, triploids,
crabbing, yes.
Kokanee, believe it or not, Tommy, Kokanee. So,
are we?
Yes, the beginning of the year is going to be extremely busy, and we have, David G, family first. You got that right, brother. Lots of good things to look forward to as we roll into 22. We're going to close out that show on the 30th. We're going to give some stuff away. We're going to have some prize packs to give away, some Fish Hunt Northwest swag. Going to get a lot of people tuned in for that show because we got some serious giveaways to do. All right, with that, buddy, running down the show. We're going to check in with our buddy Shelby Ross Outdoor Adventures, of course, because you and I are on the road within a few days to jump over there. We had about 8 folks or more joining us over there on the FHN invite to go hunt with Ross Outdoors. It's going to be a great hunt next Wednesday, the 22nd. So we're going to catch up with Shelby, find out what's going on over there as it relates to current and the weather and how the hunt's going. I'm telling you right now, it's pretty darn good. Then we're going to jump into Recipe of the Week with Chef Jeff Maxfield and Sheri back in the kitchen, Finn's Bistro, just in time for the holidays. You will want to take notes on this one. Holiday oyster and cornbread stuffing. This is kind of a great combination of all that is Northwest with the oysters and a little bit of Southern cornbread. So yeah, it's a great holiday tradition. Oyster and cornbread stuffing. Don't want to miss that. Then we come back. Troy Black is going to join us, Tommy, a good buddy Troy over there on the east side. We are definitely going to jump in his boat in the very near future. Troy is the master over there at Roosevelt. It's time to go after the winter kokanee and some of those big triploids in Roosevelt as well. Troy's going to get you dialed in. If you get a weather window, want to drag your boat to the east side and take advantage of Roosevelt this time of year for those trophy kokanee, you want to pay attention because Troy is going to get you all spooled up and help you find success. Then we're going to close out the show. We kind of alluded to it, Tommy. We need to tackle this spring bear hunt petition that is out there and available for folks to sign on. You know, we've put some of this information on our Facebook page that's been blowing up. People have been grabbing this and sharing it. So we'll explain the whole petition and why it's important for people to sign on. Even if you don't hunt, if you simply fish, that's fine. We're all in this together, collectively.
Yeah.
We have to support each other in our endeavors.
Absolutely.
And we are advocating, you and I, to say, just get on there and demand that the commission picks up the petition and moves forward with it. We want them to be having a discussion on January 21st as it relates to the petition in the spring bear hunt. And then we're going to, believe it or not, Governor Inslee, Tommy, outlined a recovery proposal for salmon in 2022 to the tune of
$187 million.
$187 million.
Yeah.
Now, this is aside from WDFW budget or anything in that matrix.
Right.
This is an allocated amounts of money for salmon recovery in 2022. $187 million. Sounds like an amazing idea.
Right. It's not what you think it is.
We're going to break it down.
We're going to break it down.
All right. We are going to jump out for a quick break. Appreciate everybody signing on. Take our content, spread it out there. Join folks to the party. We'll be out for a 2-minute break. Coming back, Shelby Ross will be on the phone in the studio here, Fish Hunt Northwest.
Portco, an outdoor emporium, is the largest local outfitter in the Northwest since 1975, providing thousands of people affordable outdoor gear. This summer, make your next outdoor adventure more affordable by shopping at our warehouse-style pricing. We are a local Scotty dealer, offering sales, service, and repair. Located in Fife and Seattle, come visit us today. The outdoors await you.
It's easier than ever to browse homes and connect with an agent on the go with Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate's mobile app. With the app, your home search is synced across all of your devices, so you can pick up your home search anytime, anywhere. Take full advantage of an enriched, mobile-optimized map search experience. Use location services to quickly find homes near you that match your search criteria. Draw your own map boundaries to find homes in a specific area, and apply layers to view school districts, neighborhoods, zip codes, and more. The app's user-friendly design makes it easier than ever to find a home you'll love. Narrow down your search results, save your search criteria, and save your favorite homes. You can browse your saved homes in a list view that puts photos and key details like price and square footage right at your fingertips. Or check out your saved homes displayed on the map.
Yep, for sure. Oh yeah, big fish. Yeah, buddy. Nice fish. Oh, beauty. Gorgeous fish.
Bobby's on the board.
We got a good one.
Oh yeah. Oh, 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 geez, come on.
Nice fish. Nice fish.
Welcome back, Fish Hunt Northwest. New England Tommy Donlan here in studio. And on the phone, our good buddy, and one we cannot wait to go see here.
I know, I'm excited.
Future, Shelby Ross. How you doing, buddy?
Better than I deserve. How are you guys?
We're fantastic.
Cannot complain.
Cannot complain. Looking forward to getting over there again with you, my friend. Sounds like the duck hunting's kind of holding on strong for us.
You know, it's been one of our best years in probably 10 or 15 years, and so no complaints, because I've had customers from all over the country who have stated how miserable their hunting has been at home. So we feel really blessed to have had the season so far that we are, and lately it's been a little bit frustrating that you're shooting at the same ducks that have been here for 2 or 3 weeks, and if there's wind, it's good, and if it's calm, it's tough. And with the weather that we finally have now, today was gangbuster hunting, and if you don't understand why there's a shotgun shell shortage, the 3 groups I had out today are posters for why that is.
That's classic.
Keep sending them until they fall, and then speed load and send some more, huh?
Yep.
So hey,
there was.
You know, we're going to be out there in about, just about a week, just a day short of a week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what are you thinking it's going to be? You think it's going to be duck? Is it going to be goose? What are your thoughts on the weather?
Well, my concern was this cold snap. If it locks up the sand dunes, it's just tough hunting, and a lot of the birds will move out of the area. And tonight is the cold night with 23 degrees, but it's blowing out of the south. And for my entire hunting career, since I was 12, 13 years old, the old timers here say, south wind means the birds are coming, and north wind means the birds are leaving. It's like, now, wait a minute, they got to come from the north, but it's true.
Yeah.
And so we say tonight is the last cold snap. We have 0 ice right now. We're going to have a little bit of ice form tonight, but as long as this wind stays blowing, it's going to be really minimal, and then we're in fine shape after tonight's cold snap, and so should be just fine. This duck should still be here, and a lot of the farm ponds and little waters clearly locked up today based on the bird numbers.
Yeah. Well, I am certainly looking forward to getting back over there. It's always a great time. And for those that have signed on to join us, boy, they're going to get a treat. So we have the lodging handled. We have dinner included. We have lunch and amazing duck kebabs in the duck blind the next day. Little turn of event in our favor, Tommy. We get to attend the Mardon Christmas party with our group because, as Shelby alluded to, they have way too much food. Is that right?
That is the plan. And
how about that?
Alerted that the restaurant is closed because the staff is all attending the Christmas party, and so we get a nice catered meal.
Perfect. Well,
like
boy,
parties.
Those that took opportunity to jump on board with this trip are going to get treated extremely well, Tommy. It's going to be a great time. Looking forward to it. Sounds like there should be plenty of ducks around. Now all we got to do is get Tommy to hit one.
That's right.
Huh?
I'm new to this game.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
He's new to this game. Surdic's indicating duck hunting over here on the west side has just been on fire. So we got ducks over here.
That's Surdic, though. You got to kind of temper that comment a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Surdic's pretty good at that game. He's been doing it a while.
He's probably been doing it almost as long as Shelby. But
the other deal that's going on here, I don't mean to interrupt you, is the walleye bite on the Mardon dock at night has been just short of epic.
Is that right?
At the dock?
I haven't fished, but I've just been here, launching the boat and loading customers, and I've seen probably 10 walleye caught in the last couple days.
We should probably bring a fishing rod.
We need to do that.
Huh?
Yeah, we need to do that too.
I guess Tommy wants to do the nighttime under the lights walleye opportunity off the docks at Mardon, something everybody needs to experience. Wouldn't you say, Shelby?
You just got to be careful with those treble hooks and the fish flopping in the dark on the dock.
Yeah, I'll wear my safety glasses, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, sir, we are looking forward to getting on over there. You still have opportunity for self-guided and or folks that want to jump on board and maybe take a guided hunt with you through January?
Saturdays are extremely busy. There's very limited Saturday openings, but other than that, there's space. There's a couple goose dates left, and our goose dates are, the days are Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday.
Right.
And there's a couple goose dates still left in the season. And then another deal that I'd like to throw out is the first Saturday in February is the Youth and Veterans Hunt.
Oh.
And last year was the first year of that hunt. And I had a 11-year-old and his non-shooting dad, and his dad's buddy was a retired Marine, and 280 rounds for their 14 duck limit.
Whoa.
And it was 55 degrees and blown out of the south about 25,
smokes.
and every duck on earth was here.
Oh.
And if somebody fits that category where it's got a young, an under 16-year-old, that's a perfect deal to give it a whirl, and no charge for the non-shooters. If the guy's got his son, and so
280
rounds. Certic says you better bring a whole case, Tommy. You're going to need
right.
it. Yeah, so,
right. Probably going to go through them like he does herring.
Yeah, probably. Well, folks can get a hold of you via social media. They can give you a call. Go check out your website. Anything else they can track you down?
To book the trip, they actually call Mardon Resort.
Okay.
But any questions, feel free to give me a yell, shoot me a message, and we'll fill in the blanks. And since COVID, last year the line was it's the year of the rookie because of so many new hunters.
Yeah.
Never done it. And it's just continued with people giving this a whirl who've never tried, and we can fill in all the blanks and make it a successful trip. I had a group the last 2 days. One in their party has a customer for years and years, and the rest of them never done it. They big game hunted, but never waterfowl hunted, and they are hooked and already booked a goose trip for January.
Perfect.
Right on.
That's what we like to see. So they got any ammo over there in the store? Are they out?
They do not. They've got something that's supposed to arrive in the next couple of days, and if somebody's booking a trip, we'll figure out how to get them some, because we might have a little stockpile.
Oh, there you go. How about duck stamps? You guys out of duck stamps? So they got duck stamps too.
I don't know if we have duck stamps. You can purchase duck stamps online from 26 different states.
Yes.
Washington is not one of them,
That
but
is correct.
it doesn't matter. And then you have a electronic copy of it, and you're good to go.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Well, hey, we will be over there within a few days. Can't wait. Looking forward to it. Shelby Ross, 509-750-7763. If you want to get some details or get some questions answered. Other than that, call Mardon Resort, book a trip with you and your crew. And I can't thank you enough. We're really looking forward to bringing some new faces on over there with us on the FHN Hunt, and looking forward to it very much.
Always great to chat with you guys. Thank you so much.
Have a great night, buddy. We'll be in touch.
See you soon.
Yep.
I'm a little nervous about this hunt because I think that I'm highly competitive, right? I'm competitive with myself.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you would have never known, right?
That's news to me.
And my concern is if I get out there and I start missing, now it's gonna become like a mission to be good, really good at this game.
You'll hear folks say, "Shoot him in the face."
Yeah.
Right. Shoot him in the face.
Right.
So that's all you got to. It's just what you got to do.
That's all you got to do. Is
just
that it?
shoot him in the face.
That's it. That's all there is.
Just got to lead them, man. Shoot them right. Just aim for their head, just like turkey hunting. Hit them in the head. Just shoot them in the face.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you'd be surprised on some of those ducks. They do fly a bit fast. Mm-hmm. It's not dove hunting. It's not pheasant hunting, which I put on the other end of the spectrum. It's somewhere in between. But you're gonna have a blast. Yeah. You're gonna hit ducks. For God's sakes, Dakota hit ducks last year.
Oh well, if he can do it.
Yeah, he's throwing his guitar at him though. Right. So anyway, all right on. Want to borrow my 10 gauge? No, he's gonna use the 935 Mossberg. He's gonna get it done all day with that bad boy. So all right, Tommy, we're gonna jump out for a quick break. We come back. Hey, we're taking you back into the kitchen, Finn's Bistro, for a holiday treat. Oyster and cornbread stuffing. If you have oysters in the freezer, or if you don't, just want to go purchase some jarred ones, that works as well. This is a fantastic recipe. Lots of flavor. I think there was some sausage in there and just all the vegetables. It was an amazing dish that Jeff Maxfield, Chef Jeffrey and Sheri make. Finn's Bistro, holiday treat coming at you. Recipe of the week. We come back right here, Fish Hunt Northwest.
A Northwest favorite for almost 40 years, Arima boats are manufactured with pride right here in Bremerton, Washington. Arima Boats offers all of our boats with Honda outboard packages so that you can take full advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. With literally thousands of Arima boats on the water throughout the Pacific Northwest, Arima boats are a proven hull design that offers incredible fuel economy and all of the amenities that a serious angler is looking for. All Arima boats are built without any structural wood materials. That is why we back our boats with a lifetime warranty. All of our Arima boats are designed to maximize deck space while also providing ample seating. Contact us today at Arima Boats for all your boating needs and let us help you get out on the water.
End of Watch Ride to Remember is a group from the state of Washington traveling across the country to honor fallen officers from 2019. End of Watch organizer Jagrut Shah says they want to show departments who've lost partners and friends they are not alone.
I wanted to bridge this gap that we have and bring back to the department, let the deputies or the officers know that their lost has not been forgotten.
In 2019, 146 officers were killed in the line of duty, and End of Watch Ride to Remember is on a mission to pay their respects to each of them.
For us, it's just important realizing that the men and women in blue everywhere should remember that they haven't been forgotten. We're not forgetting them. We want the families to know that their loved ones have not been forgotten.
Welcome back to Fish Hunt Northwest. We're here in the kitchen at Finn's Bistro in Issaquah, Washington with Jeff Maxfield, the co-owner and the master chef.
Oh boy.
Yes, what are we having?
Well, thank you for being here. We're having oyster stuffing with some cornbread, so kind of a take on the classic out of the South. You know, and certainly we're in one of the oyster capitals, I think, in the world, and this is the time of year to get out there and enjoy those oysters. You know, cold water. You know, especially after that warm summer we've had. You know, it's a nice change for once. So yeah. So this is kind of a take on the classic, where you know, cornbread. Typically, you would use sausage. We're going to use a little bit of prosciutto.
Perfect.
Which, you know, kind of steps it up a little bit. We're going to use cremini mushrooms, carrots, onions, celery, you know, kind of the mirepoix, if you will, and then a little bit of fresh herbs, We use duck eggs here in our restaurant for a lot of things.
Really?
So
they looked a little different.
Yeah, they're a little bit bigger, and
different.
they're raised. The ducks are raised by a friend of ours up the street, and so she brings us eggs every week. And
yeah.
So. What we'll start with is bringing this over to the stove.
Okay.
And we'll saute these ingredients together. And you know, one of the important things with you know, vegetables, especially when they're going into another dish, is you know, you always want to have them sweated or sauteed a little bit. That helps to help the cooking process, but also starts to release a lot of those flavors, and that's what we're looking for.
Yep.
All right, so cast iron skillet, a little bit of olive oil. You could certainly use butter, and actually for this one we're going to use a little mixture of both.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay, so that's just a little bit of melted butter. Yeah. And it's just going to add to the richness of everything here.
Yeah, and you're just taking the usual ingredients and upping the game a little bit with this stuffing,
right? That's it, yep.
Yeah.
So we'll start with carrots, onion, and celery.
The usual.
The usual.
That's where mine ends.
Yeah. And so the herbs, you know, fresh thyme, rosemary, parsley. I've got a little bit of dill in there as well.
Okay.
Okay, we'll let that start to go, and add our garlic. And nice thing on the garlic, you know, this day and age you can buy peeled garlic at pretty much any grocery store. Buy it and, you know, chop it up and put it in an airtight container in the fridge, and that way you've already got garlic anytime you need it.
Yeah, because basically every dish.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. That's like our house too.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do a little bit of salt and pepper. When you're sauteing, and especially with mushrooms, a little bit of salt anyway to, you know, helps to draw out that moisture at the beginning of the cook time.
Okay.
And then we'll do a little bit of pepper.
That's another staple in my house. Mushrooms.
Oh yes.
Like them and everything.
You know, and you can switch this out with chanterelle mushrooms and step the game up even a little bit more if you'd like. So all we're doing, because this is going to go into the oven, and so all we're doing is just you know, getting a initial you know, kind of cook on it, getting all the flavors starting to work. Because what happens is if you were to cook this all the way, then it's just going to become, you know, kind of mushy by the time it's done in the oven. So
we added the prosciutto.
Added our prosciutto, pre-sliced, and then all I did was just julienne it.
Okay.
And we'll add some of our herbs. And we'll reserve a little bit of those for the end to put on top.
Okay, and that's just basically...
That was rosemary, thyme, parsley, and a little bit of dill.
Okay.
Okay. All right, I'll turn the heat off here. And let's get a towel down for the board.
So you just made that cornbread ahead of time?
Yep, and this is just, you know, your favorite box cornbread.
Okay.
You know, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. You don't want it too sweet, just because then it's going to be kind of, you know, the oysters, the saltiness of the oysters will help with that. But, you know, some of the real kind of off-the-shelf stuff is, you know, might not be great to just have on its own, but it's fantastic in a recipe like this.
Okay.
So we're going to add all of those. Doesn't it smell good?
Yes, it does. For sure. Oh.
Add all that to a bowl, mixing bowl big enough to be able to get everything in there. And add our cornbread.
Okay.
Okay. And we can add our oysters. This is a dozen oysters in their liquid. So if you're going to the beach and you're shucking them, right, you have to shuck them on the beach and leave the shells. You know, save all that nectar when you're putting it into your container. You know, this is a great application for some of those bigger oysters that you wouldn't want to eat raw or they're too big to fry. You know, just this is where you use those.
So you want that liquid.
You want the liquid, yep. And that's, you know, a lot of stuffings have chicken stock and different things. This one doesn't. but that nectar helps, or the liquor, I guess is what it's called, helps you know, kind of add some moisture. We're going to add a little bit of whipping cream.
Okay, and that's just usual.
This is just
heavy cream.
Heavy cream. Yep.
Okay.
And we're going to add our duck eggs. Regular eggs are just fine.
You just put them right in there?
Put them right in there.
Okay.
So it's, you know, I kind of cheat a little bit. This might be more of a bread pudding type thing.
Yolks are.
Yeah, isn't this? Yeah, they're great. All right, so we're just gonna mix everything. You know, kind of start at the bottom of the bowl, and you know, so you can kind of keep the integrity of that cornbread. Okay. So all I'm doing, you see, I'm just kind of folding it and moving the bowl around.
Keep it a little chunky.
Yeah, that keeps that cornbread somewhat intact, so it's not more like, you know, it doesn't end up like a big pile of mush. Okay. And so we're gonna go right back into that cast iron pan.
Okay. Colors are amazing.
They're beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. And you know, parsnip would be good in here, rutabaga, any of those root vegetables that I'm trying to figure out what to do with them.
Those funny named ones.
So perfect. This is gonna go into 400-degree oven for 25 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And here we have
the finished.
Isn't that beautiful? I'm just gonna do a little fresh pomegranate right over the top. Add a little bit of sweetness and tartness all at the same time.
And those are readily available right now,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely. And you can get them now. You can get them already out of the fruit itself. And, you know, maybe for a later date, I'll show you some tricks on how to do pomegranate out of the actual fruit.
Sounds good.
So here we are. Here's our oyster and cornbread stuffing with prosciutto.
All right. Well, we'll dig into this and we'll throw it back to you guys in the studio.
Well, there you go, Tommy. Recipe of the week.
Yeah, I'm really bummed out that you figured out when I was going to be out of town, and then you scheduled this day to go up to Finn's Bistro.
Yeah, more so it's it's all on Jeff, his availability.
Oh yeah, it's Jeff's fault. Hey Jeff, it's your fault.
Yeah, definitely his fault. That one there, my friend, is flavorful.
I would have never.
If you like oysters.
Yeah, absolutely, and I would have never in a million years come up with that.
Well, no, well, we're not chefs.
That's right.
But that's why Jeff's so amazing. And many more recipes to come. We have a host of them in the vault, as they say, and we're going to just kind of string those out as time progresses here. But we are definitely coming back on the 30th, showing the squid recipe that it just disappeared tonight. I mean,
yeah, it was perfect.
It was pretty darn good. So, yes, Ron, thanks for another wonderful dish. Absolutely. Jeff has a ton of them. And you know what? Do yourself a favor. If you have not found your way to Issaquah, you know, the holiday season, Christmas shopping, little trip up to Issaquah, do some downtown shopping in the old Issaquah, and stop by Finn's, man. You got to check out their seafood, second to none. Some of the best in the Northwest. And his extensive history in the Northwest as a chef, Space Needle, the whole thing. Phenomenal individual, phenomenal family, and just a great, great atmosphere. Check him out, Finn's Bistro in Issaquah. All right, Tommy, we're going to jump out for a break. We come back. Hold on to your seat. We're talking kokanee, my friend. Huh?
We are.
None other than our buddy Troy Black of Blacky's Guide Service. He kills it over there. And there's a reason I bring him back periodically to discuss exactly what it is we want to get over there and be successful for, is because this man has it dialed. Troy Black, Roosevelt Winter Trophy Kokanee. We come back right here, FHN. Allied boats are built by West Coast fishermen for West Coast fishermen. Deep V 21-degree dead rise at the transom guarantees a smooth ride no matter the conditions. Allied offers all of our boats with Honda outboard packages so that you can take full advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. Allied boats range from 19 to 32 foot in length, so no matter what type of heavy gauge boat you are looking for, we have it for you.
All of our Corsair 21-foot and larger designs come standard with reverse chine that is welded inside and out with no extrusions below the waterline, so that you will never have to worry about corrosion problems down the road. Get out on the water today in a boat that you can trust and enjoy with Allied Boats. Contact us at Allied Boats today to learn much more about our incredible fishing machines.
New days, new beginnings, new friends, new loves, new dreams, new goals, new scenery, new job. No matter what the next chapter holds, Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate will be there to help you find the new that's right for your lifestyle at any stage of your life. Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. Expect better.
Here we go.
Welcome back in studio, Dwayne England, Tommy Donlin. Up next on the agenda, Tommy, buddy of ours who we yet to fish with,
We got blown out last year.
We got blown out last year.
Yep.
Troy's been more than gracious with the invites, opportunity, and trying to get our schedules aligned. It's going to happen. Troy Black sitting patiently, awaiting the conversation. How you doing, my friend?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Hey, we're good. We're good. You're on the road taking on some other fun activities over the next couple days, but are willing to stop, take a little time, and let's drill down on these Roosevelt Kokanee. You know how I start blowing up your phone this time of year, figure out what's going on over there on the east side and what actually is happening. So how would you summarize the start of the winter Kokanee trophy fishing over there at Roosevelt right now?
Well, we usually start November 1st after fall Chinook, and November is mainly our triploid type season. You'll get one or two kokanee here and there. They're still way spread out, and there's always about a 10-day to 2-week window in the middle of December when the kokanee they'll take a feed. For some reason they get active. You can consistently catch them, and then they kind of peter back out. Christmas time through January, they start dropping the lake. Fish start moving down, start migrating back down towards the bottom of the reservoir, and then I start booking kokanee trips after Valentine's.
Oh, yeah.
Just historically for me, over the last 30 years or whatever, being on the lake, it seems like after Valentine's Day, those fish start to congregate a little bit more, and with them moving, dropping the lake and stuff, and then by the 1st of March, we're cranked. We are focused. We're dialed, and those fish are starting to school up, and we can consistently get on them. And consequently, those fish, they come up out of their, that 30 to 50 foot, 90 foot range, and they come right up to the surface, right up with the trout, with the triploids. So it gets to be really, really fun watching them blow up on top of the water.
So what are these fish when they start to school up? You know, are they just moving with that water flow as they drop the water level, or what's happening? Is their food source collating somewhere? Why are they migrating? Why do they group up?
Yeah, they're just as they drop the water. You know, the current seam out in the middle of the lake gets a little bit more identifiable, and it just flushes all the feed down to that bottom 13 to 15 miles of the lake. And I think, you know, you've been over there when they'll drop that lake 100 vertical feet or something. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I think it's more or less of not being social as it is just not having as much water to be nomadic. They're going to follow the feed down. They get down into, say, the Swawilla Basin or down at Spring Canyon, and it just concentrates the fish because they're chasing the feed.
How important is it to kind of dissect that area looking for fish? I mean, are we from time to time, you know, trolling with the current? If they're moving water and you got pretty good flow, are you going against or with, or are you cutting across the grain? You know, in other words, going perpendicular to the actual current flow?
Yeah, you know, it is interesting. What I have found is some days, if you're out in the middle of the lake and you're just hunting for fish, and a lot of times you'll see the fish out there in the middle on that scum scene, rolling. They're in there rolling, playing around.
Huh.
Some days they like it with the current. Some days they like it against the current. It's really, really weird. As you know, the closer you get to the dam and the less current there is, then it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But I'm talking above Keller Ferry. Say Keller Ferry to Seven Bays, that stretch of lake in there where it narrows down a little bit, and there's a lot more current up in that, what I call the canyon part of the lake.
Yeah, it actually, I mean, you can sense the you know, difference in speed of the flow as it comes through. As you mentioned, it's narrowed down, and of course you have, you know, the water's definitely moving. You get down by the dam, it's almost like trolling around in a circle on a pond, you know, at times. So
yeah, you find the pot of fish, you just do NASCAR turns.
Right.
Until they scatter, then you go find another pot.
Troy, you had mentioned that that time of year, February, as you set your sights on that and started fishing for them, those fish will come up, waters drop down, the fish come up, much like the triploids being near surface on that troll fishery. Let's talk about utilization of downriggers versus side planers and why you would choose to use one or the other.
Okay, when those kokanee are on Lake Roosevelt are different from the triploids. The triploids aren't near as spooked by the boat as the kokanee are. And so how I run my boat is I run the big boards, the big planer boards with the tower and everything, and I'll run them out, 100, 150 feet out, and then put multiple lines. I'll stack lines on those boards. So I'll have, let's say, I'll run two rods off of each board, and then I do run 2 downriggers, and then I run a flat line out the back. And so what you just need to go, if you're going to only run your downriggers, 5 to 10, 12 feet deep, then I'll just run them back there 150 to 175 feet, sometimes 200 feet. Just get them out away from the boat.
Sure.
And so the guys that don't have the big boards, I mean, they're insanely expensive.
Yeah, yes.
You can totally be effective. I know a lot of buddies that are great kokanee fishermen, very successful, and they run the inlines, the little side planers.
Right.
Or what do they call them?
Offshore?
Offshore, the whirly birds, or whatever they call them.
Yep.
They use those. And so the planer board just gets you away from the boat where the fish aren't so spooked. And, you're going down let's say you're going down the side of right there at Plum Point or wherever along the bank, and you go through a pot of fish and they spook, right? They swim away from the boat. Well, guess what? You've got 2 rods out there.
Right. Yeah.
100 feet away from the boat and 100 or 150 feet behind the board. And so you're able to fish a lot more effectively that way. And you're covering more water. But I would, I've got the big boards, yes, and there's several guys that run the big boards, but like I said, I know just as many successful kokanee guys over there that are running the $15 yellow plastic inlines.
Yeah.
You don't have to go spend $1,000 for a tower,
right?
Whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah.
So Troy, this is a really long season, really, when you think of it, and you compare it to some of our
totally.
other opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And so you get a chance to really see how these fish behave and how their behavior changes over time. And when you think about the presentation itself, so presentation can mean a couple things. It can mean, like the terminal end of your terminal tackle, or it can mean, where in the water column or where laterally away from the boat. What I'm curious in is when you think about the variables that change throughout that season, that long season, what are the variables that are going to make you want to change your presentation, whether that's your terminal tackle or location in how you're trolling?
Yeah. So, the kokanee there are very nomadic, and they're not real social like the triploids. You go through, you go through a school of triploids and you get doubles and triples or whatever. The earlier season, I manipulate my gear so I can run it at a little faster speed.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier in the fall, as the water temp starts to go back down, then I'll shorten up my leaders where I can get that action and go where I can go slower. So let's say, for example, 1st of November until the water temperature gets into the 30-degree range. I'm running a little longer leader. I'm running my Dodgers. Don't have near aggressive bend in them.
Mm-hmm.
But they're a little more flat, and I control them a little faster. But as that temp goes down, and then I'm going to slow my presentation way up because they're a little more lethargic. And so now I'm shortening up my leaders, getting my Dodgers to kick at a slower speed. Down at 1.1, sometimes maybe even a 0.9.
What's that faster speed at in comparison?
Like 1.5, 1.6.
Okay.
Yeah, even 1.7 some days. Early season, I'll even troll. Sometimes I'll troll like needlefish, and when I'm trying to cover a lot of ground, Rapalas, trying to find fish, and just hunting for them. And now I'm up to 1.8 to 2.2. I'm cranking. You're catching a lot more trout at that speed.
Yeah.
But I'm just looking for fish. If I can find fish, then I can start dialing things in a little bit that day to focus in on the kokanee.
What's your water temperature when you're up at 1.7, 1.8?
Above 40 degrees.
Okay.
So it'll be usually in that 45 to 55 range.
Yeah.
58.
Yeah. Okay. Before we got to get out of here, let's talk a little bit about color patterns, presentation, scent, and bait in that combination. Sure. Yeah.
So, when in doubt, always run pink.
Yes.
And on Roosevelt, they love orange.
Yes, they do.
So you'll see me. I'll run 7 or 8 rods every day. 4 rods are going to be on pink. 4 rods are going to be on orange.
Mm-hmm.
Now we run like Hornet and Assassin spinners. We run a lot of just straight squid, little mini squids with nothing on them.
Oh.
We'll run little super squids with like a little VIP blade in front of it or a smiley blade in front of it. Last year, I did a lot of playing around with greens, black and green, pink and green. I was tying some of my own spinners up, just playing around with them. And May and June, I caught a lot of kokanee on chartreuse green. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really a lot of fun playing around there. And so we have that. So those colors, you know, the typical kokanee stuff, low plankton squids. Later in the year, when they get a lot of pressure, you'll downsize to little plankton squids, or sometimes just a pink and a red hook with a smiley blade and your maggot and corn. Just really, really simple stuff.
Yeah, real small.
And then, you know, I use Slam and Sam's corn cure.
Yep.
Northwest Bait and Scent. It's easy. It's so easy. You drain your can of white shoe peg corn, put it in a Tupperware, a half a bottle of that corn dye coloring, let it set overnight, and you're good to go. You're ready to rock and roll. And that stuff won't mold. It doesn't sour. You use it until it's gone.
Top 3 scents that you rely on.
Top 3 scents I rely on are Northwest Bait and Scent Krill, Northwest Bait and Scent Kokanee, and Slam and Sam's Kokanee or Triple X.
Gotcha.
And my base is always Northwest Bait and Scent Krill, and then I start messing around with the other scents.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and make it nice. You make your corn nice and juicy. I put 2 corn on, whatever. I drench my squid or my spinner in the sauce and put it out. I think kokanee are scent freaks.
Yes, I agree. Yes,
yeah, they're like a springer.
Okay, well, February seems to be the target date for folks to jump on board with you and start in pursuit of those trophy kokanee over there at Roosevelt. You got room for folks to sign on?
But yeah, for sure. If guys wanting to go, feel free to give me a call. We'll start February 15th and we'll go to June 1st.
Okay.
And so give me a call. Good dates, lots of good dates. It's a great season. It's a long season. There's a lot of fish, and you know, guys up from the west side that want to come over, if they want to pull their boat over, they can, you know, fish a day with me. We'll get you dialed in, take your boat out the next day, or you know, I'm sitting on top of Snoqualmie Pass now.
Yeah.
And white knuckled the whole way. I'm telling you, there's no need to pull your boat over this mess.
Right.
Just come on, just drive on over and let's fish for a couple days.
There you go. That's a safer alternative. Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not dragging my boat tonight.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, always a pleasure, Troy. Always appreciate the insightful information. You have it so dialed, and folks just love to hear from you. So we can't thank you enough.
All right, no problem. Thank you, guys. Merry Christmas to everybody, and be safe out there.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you, and we'll be in touch, buddy. All right, travel safe.
Okay.
We'll see you.
All right, see you guys. Right. Bye.
There you go. That's why we get him on here, Tommy. He holds back nothing. Matter of fact, he just offered or invited folks to come over, jump in the boat with him for a day.
And then go out on their own boat.
And then take your own boat out and just, you know, follow him around and fish next to him. And he's going to catch his fish. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to catch his fish. So, and he does. I've watched him do it. And I'm over there on my older boat, you know, on my tiller handle with my tail between my legs, just going, why can't I catch a
Where's
kokanee?
the kokanee at?
Yeah,
kokanee here?
Unbelievable. So he is the man. Troy Black, look him up, give him a call, book a trip. It definitely will shorten your learning curve.
Yeah.
You're gonna put
it's well worth your money.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. So get it done. Sign up with him. You will not be disappointed. Troy's a great guy. As you heard, and phenomenal individual to spend the day on the water with. All right, we're going to jump out for a final break. We come back, we're going to close out the show. Tommy, we have a little bit of a spring bear petition to throw to the folks, make sure we all understand what that's all about. And we're going to talk about this salmon recovery plan, or monies being allocated for, if they can land it out of the government there, $187 million. Let's see what that's all about. Don't go anywhere. A couple minutes in the break. We'll be back here in studio, Fish Hunt Northwest.
Defiance boats are built without any structural wood materials. That is why we back our boats with a lifetime warranty. All of our Defiance boats come standard with large fish boxes that are fully insulated so that you can ice your fish properly all day. Defiance boats feature a 21 to 22 degree dead rise at the transom and a large reverse chine for incredible handling and stability offshore. Defiance boats are foam flotation filled and unsinkable for the ultimate in safety while fishing offshore. Defiance boats feature fuel-efficient hull designs with large fuel tank capacity so that you can have maximum fuel range for making long offshore runs completely safe and affordable. All Defiance boats come standard with self-bailing decks for improved safety while at sea. Defiance Boat offers all our boats with Honda outboard packages so that you can take full advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. Defiance boats for all your boating needs, and let us help you get out on the water.
Today, the need for quality private security services is at an all-time high. Contract Security Service provides day-to-day peace of mind as they protect people and property. Phoenix Protective Corporation strives for excellence. Above all, Phoenix security officers are managed by leaders trained to inspire and encourage greatness. Here at Phoenix, we provide service for multiple state and federal contracts, with service ranging from uniform, patrol, alarm monitoring, canine detection, executive protection, as well as investigative work. We here at Phoenix are looking for highly motivated individuals to apply. If you're a vet, retired or active, and would like to work with us, please apply.
Welcome back here in studio, Tommy. As we close out the show, a couple things to cover. So I got stuff stacked up all over here.
These are some juicy ones too.
Yeah, well, this is the information people need to hear and be made aware of. So obviously we opened the show talking about the bear debacle.
Yeah.
There was actually a bit of information came out on social media earlier this week, a couple days ago. Commission had a meeting. Director Siswan was on there, and he basically said, at a recent WDFW public meeting, Director Siswan stated that there is a petition to establish a Spring Bear 2022 bear season to be voted on during the January 21st Commission meeting, January 21st, just around the corner, okay? About a month away. Gives us plenty of time. You need to log on and get in there. You enter your name, phone number, a little paragraph for you to fill in exactly what it is you're saying. Basically what you're doing is telling the commission to make sure they bring up the petition to discuss. And if they see a lot of pro hunters weighing in on this thing to say, we want you to reconvene, discuss the spring bear hunt, take another look at it, hit the reset button, and authorize it for 2022 because there's still enough time.
Yes.
They need to do that, okay?
And this is a full court press, too, because Koontz is out.
Good point.
He was one of the no votes, right? Now, just remember, it was a 4-4 tie.
Correct.
And because we have a vacant seat on the east side, okay, if it's a tie, that means it's a no-go.
It's a no-go.
Well, now, one of those no votes is gone. Right? If they re-voted today and nobody changed their vote, there would be a spring bear hunt.
Yeah, absolutely. So January 21st is the deadline as far as when the meeting is. It was asked via our social media. Is there a deadline? Well, I would just say get it in before the 21st. You know, if you're going to wait, you want to talk to more people, whatever, put your words together. It's pretty simple. And the post on our Facebook page is pretty descriptive. There's a lot of people weighing in, letting us know that they signed on. They let their voice be heard. Some were struggling to not put expletives in their paragraph. But that being said, they are taking the time to do it. www.wa.gov/about/commission and /contact. That literally opens up the page where it opens up the box for you to enter your information and contact the commission, let your voice be heard. I'm pretty sure you can also Google WDFW Commission Contact and Submission, something to that effect. It's going to take you right to the page. It's on the WDFW website. It's pretty easy to navigate and find. But this is our opportunity, folks. We have about a month to get on there, put your information in, rally around this thing. Let's get our spring bear hunt back, our permit draw, special permit draw, spring bear hunt. This is our opportunity to let the commission hear from the group, from the body, right? And we got to make it happen. So questions about that, hit us up on our Facebook page or our YouTube channel under the comments section. All right. Also, article came out this week, Tommy, kind of caught my attention. Governor Inslee outlines a salmon recovery plan for 2022.
Right.
And what really caught my eye is it said $187 million. And I was like, okay, that sounds pretty impressive. And again, to remind you all, this is in addition to any allocations of funds from legislation that would go into WDFW annual budget, biennium budget. So this is dubbed this is dubbed an ambitious legislative and policy proposal. Let's figure that out, right?
Yeah.
That's dubbed a legislative and policy proposal. It would focus on the protection and restoration of fish habitat. This is a huge one. And fix fish passage barriers, address predation, and align harvest, hatcheries, hydropower with salmon recovery. In other words, there's a lot in here. Now, the key here, Tommy, as you and I kind of broke this down, is what does that all mean? Where's this money go?
Right, and you got to read into it, right? And we're going to cover it here.
You got to read into it. One kind of key takeaway I thought was a nice gesture is that part of the plan is being called the Lorraine Loomis Act. Longtime Swinomish tribal fisheries leader who passed away earlier this year. Lorraine Loomis, completely involved day in, day out, year after year in North of Falcon process and so much more. Yeah, very well respected lady in the Northwest. So they're actually dubbing part of this process and plan on her namesake. For the 2022 legislative session, salmon recovery is top priority according to the governor. Okay, that's good to know going in. They're coming together for legislative session 2022. By God, salmon recovery is going to be at the top of the list, or at least get a good stern talking to, right?
Which is in contrast to some of the things that we've seen from the governor in the past. When we've had fisheries meetings specifically on salmon and salmon recovery. Yeah. And instead of talking about the subject at hand, we're listening to the song note of the golden finch, right? And so you remember that,
bring that up. That was
I did,
unbelievable. Good memory. Yes.
Because it kind of smells funny, right? Because all of a sudden now it's a priority, right? So anyway, as we get into some of the things that are part of this package, this proposed package, one of the things that they mentioned is preventing overharvest of commercial and recreational fisheries, which I think is interesting. And they say, hey, this is necessary for the state to meet its co-management responsibilities with the tribes. Right. Well, that kind of indicates to me that if you're going to really focus on preventing overharvest, there must be an issue, right? Because if
you must have identified an issue, correct? Yes.
Yeah. If I'm in the city of Seattle and I'm saying, hey, I've got to go prevent all of these crimes that are happening, there must be a lot of crime happening, right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting that now we are seeing this focus on enforcement and overharvest. I thought that was interesting. That was one of the points.
And it's when you read this and then you read it a second time and you read it a third time to really start dissecting these words and how it's drafted. Things that pop out at me is, as you alluded to, the overharvest of commercial and recreational fisheries is key to rebuilding critically low stocks. We're not talking about hatchery fish.
Right, no, we're not.
We're talking about wild fish.
Right.
So are we admitting we've had a long, unmanaged and just, kind of turned a cheek to the fact that we're overharvesting our wild fish? Well, in many of our fisheries, recreational folks don't get to keep wild fish.
Right.
Okay. So I'm trying to read between the lines here and see exactly what they're changing as far as monitoring to figure out what's actually going on here and who's responsible, who's going to have to step up their game in monitoring, who's going to have to be forthcoming with information in their catch allocations.
Right. Well, they're talking about ramping up monitoring and enforcement to the tune of $27 million.
Yeah.
Okay. That's part of the $187 million. And it goes on to say the state hatcheries provide fish for harvest to help meet our treaty obligations. So there's the reference again to the treaty obligation. It's you kind of hear this recurring theme throughout this legislative package.
Yeah. So one thing I jumped back to, so our buddy Ron Garner posted a nice write-up yesterday on his page on some of the things they've accomplished over the last several years in the realm of salmon recovery, trying to get hatchery production back to a reasonable level, not only to keep up with the demands of recreational and commercial usage, but the orca situation that has evolved. All those things collectively means at the end of the day, we need to produce more hatchery fish.
That's right.
Okay?
But nowhere in here does it say that any of the funds are going to increase hatchery production.
Hatchery production. And to put a number in perspective, and this was great that Ron had submitted that graph once again in his information. In 1989, Tommy, they were kicking out of the state of Washington 350 million salmonids. 350 million in 1989. In 2016-17, that number had dropped to 70 million.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
That is 100 or 280 million fish less being pushed out of our hatcheries.
Yeah.
Now the infrastructure's there. Granted, some of the hatcheries, I mean, that's 30 years plus that have, you know, not been upkept to probably, you know, where they should. And we've had some issues with some of the hatcheries. But my God, when you have reduced your production percentage of fish being pumped out there because we're bringing back the wild fish, and you think the biggest conflict with survivability of wild fish is all this hatchery production, which has been proven to be, it's been debunked, right? We've watched it actually have the exact opposite effect. We've watched the wild fish numbers plummet into the toilet with the lack of hatchery fish swimming side by side. We've talked about it before.
Yeah.
When it comes to predation, and there's only wild fish swimming, what do orcas eat? What do pinnipeds eat? What do birds eat?
Right.
Come on, right?
Right. You know, the other thing that's also interesting and peculiar about this proposed legislation is that they want to increase the capacity. Now, you kind of have to listen to this. Increase the capacity to analyze salmon abundance to negotiate fisheries harvest. Okay. You know, that sounds a lot like the North of Falcon process. And to be able to think that, you know, you're going to come in here and you are going to change the modeling, the way the tribes and the commercial side of things in our state runs their modeling programs and their forecasts.
Yeah.
That is a huge ask. It is not, you know, this isn't a quadratic formula, right? It's not like you plug numbers into the equation and you go, yep, that's the salmon run for this river and that's the salmon run. It doesn't work that way.
No,
it's
it does
a very
not.
complex process. And so it's really interesting to see that, you know, part of this is wanting to get their hands into that North of Falcon process, and this is how we calculate the runs. So I'm really worried about that piece of this package as well.
Along with the advancement or ramping up, as it's stated here, in the enforcement and the prosecution of fisheries and crimes, it's also expand the capacity of the state to prosecute fisheries and other environmental crimes. You had a good point when we were talking at a break. It's like, we can't even get them to prosecute persons breaking into cars. You're going to prosecute a guy for keeping a fish over his limit or something in that regard?
A quarter of an inch too small.
Something, on a lingcod or whatever.
Yeah, is that now a felony or what are we, you know, what's
I
going on
have no
here?
idea why that's even in there. I'm all for upping enforcement, boots on the ground, presence on the water, presence in the field. There's a lot of poaching going on and those types of things, sure. But we also got tremendous crime waves happening.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the Senate, the legislation is going to, you know, wrap all this up into a nice package and give it to the governor and then to WDFW, and they're going to be able to up their WDFW presence and enforcement. I'm all for it. It's great. But if they can't even get it in certain large, you know, populated areas, in cities and whatnot throughout the state, and the crime is happening at the levels it is, how do we think it's actually going to land at WDFW and enforcement?
And my concern is that when they roll this out, it's not going to be equitable by user group, right?
No.
So is it going to be the same for commercial fishermen? Is it going to be the same for tribal fishermen? Is it going to be the same level of enforcement for sport fishermen, or is it going to be lopsided? You know, so here's the other interesting thing, right? And so, you know, $187 million, and only about 7.1 million of that is going towards hatchery improvements. Okay. Now, of that 7.1, 4.9 million is to evaluate hatchery programs in Puget Sound with a focus on improving hatchery fish survival rates. Not improving the number of hatchery fish.
Right.
Improving the survival rates. That's
the ones we're already rearing. Yeah.
Right. That's okay. Okay, 4.9 million. Then 2.2 million is the Deschutes watershed hatchery, not to build the hatchery, but to design and permit to build.
Sure.
Right? We talked earlier on the break, I think you said to build a new hatchery is somewhere in the neighborhood of 16 million.
Well, something in my head was one of the last ones that they completely revamped or actually built was in around the price tag of 16 million. That might have been the Voights Creek facility. I can't remember. Right. And keep in mind, that was a couple of years ago. Right. I think if you're into a decent sized hatchery, I mean, you're probably in that $20 million range.
Right.
Would not be such a, far-fetched number to put on that. But there's just a lot of things going in here. Now, we're talking 2 million here, 4 million there, 5 million here. The bulk of this is going into habitat. When you read through this, like 80% of this money is going into habitat, which we're all in agreement. We are destroying habitat faster than we are rebuilding here in Washington State. Well, I mean, we got a population explosion here in the state, right? So habitat is critical to bring back the wild fish. Also, what is critical to bring back the wild fish is the uptick in hatchery production. Now, there are things that are happening to make that happen to a point, but we have a lot more work to do in that regard. And to your credit, you read through this and went, okay, I get it. I'm all for salmon recovery, salmon enhancement, bringing back fish runs. Habitat, yes, absolutely. Can we do something about some of the hydro issues we're having? There's discussions on the 4 dams on Lower Snake River. Is that even a player anymore? If so, I mean, to the tune of $1 billion, whatever. And is it economically feasible that in the long term, are we going to see the return in that regard? There's so many.
Yeah. Where's the data that says, hey, we decided we want to spend $187 million, and based on the data that we have, priority number 1 is habitat reformation, right? And then item number 2 is, it's enforcement. We need to enforce better. How in the hell is that a high priority, right? So there's something going on here that's not quite visible from the surface, right? It sounds like a good thing. Oh yeah, salmon recovery, but there's definitely some pieces here that are missing, and especially there's nothing in here that talks about how are we going to handle the predation problem that we have.
Not even mentioned
with pinnipeds.
Not even mentioned. They did happen to throw in that they're going to initiate once again the license buyback program to reduce the commercial gillnet fleet on the Columbia. Now, if that is a conflict that's harvesting too many fish and needs to go away, sure. But it's a fine line, and it's a dance that we have to all be involved with, because hatchery production hinges on the availability of gillnets to a point. And I'm all for one to say, look, I don't like gillnets. I would really like to see movement towards selective harvest. You guys have heard me say that for years. Commercial fishing is not going away. If they can somehow replace the gillnets with an alternative method that's, that everybody agrees to and it's productive, gets the job done, and those that try to make their livelihood in that regard is successful. But so far, these buybacks haven't worked. They've tried them 2 or 3 times. They haven't worked. So the fact that they have $27 million allocated for gillnet license buybacks on the Columbia, I'm going, well, it's nice that that's in there, but the reality is the reality.
Right, and you got to have a means to get hatchery fish off the spawning beds, right? And so, gillnets, we remove gillnets, right? So what is the method? And I'm still concerned, with this Wild Fish Conservancy pushing these weir pens, right, to pull all the hatchery fish out of the Columbia. I don't think that's the way to go.
Yeah, pound nets may not be the answer.
That's not the way to go. So what is the answer? You can't just say, well, we're going to end all commercial fishing. That's not a solution.
This is pushed out there as salmon recovery, plan 2022, $187 million. When you break it down and see where the money is allocated for and where it's going to, it's much like a infrastructure plan that is passed on at the federal level, and when you drill down on it, like 22% of all that money is going to infrastructure. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like it's in there. You just gotta read between the lines and find it.
Right.
80% of this is about habitat. Again, habitat's important. is that truly the key to bringing back our fish runs?
Well, and whose habitat?
Mm-hmm.
Where are you spending the $123 million that's supposed to go to, habitat?
Yeah.
Who's getting it? Who's doing it?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Where does that land?
Let's talk about that.
Well, we'll always pay attention to when the governor or legislation or anybody wants to throw money at salmon recovery. We're always going to drill down on it and see if this is beneficial and if this is something that we need to, jump on board with and support. This one here, I'm kind of just going to sit back and see how this progresses. Lead session is coming in around the corner here. Be very curious to see as that starts kind of going forward. We'll be in contact with several folks who are in the know. We'll kind of see what types of budgets are being drafted or crafted for WDFW. We'll see if they're truly going to fund them to a level of functioning versus just barely surviving. I mean, these are things that we pay attention to.
Absolutely.
And rightly so. All right, my friend, that is going to wrap it up for us. Want to thank everybody. Appreciate you tuning in this week. Well, again, we are taking next Thursday off, the 23rd. We're going to take some time with family through the holiday season. We want to wish everybody happy holidays and a very Merry Christmas. And we will be back here in studio, Tommy. I expect you to be here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I will.
January 30th, close out the show, close out the year, kiss 2021 goodbye, and look forward to 2022. So until then, on the 30th, when we are back, have a very fantastic week, a Merry Christmas, and we will see you in a couple weeks.